New Year. Today is January 7th, 2025. It is 5:30 p.m. and we are in the Bosch Freilich meeting room at Mandan City Hall. Mr. Neubauer, will you please take the roll call?
Commissioner Schoberg.
Here.
Heinshaw.
Here.
Braun.
Here.
Rohr. Mayor Freilich.
Here. And now we will have building official Jordan Singer lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please stand. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Jordan. One announcement before we get to Jordan. Congratulations. All is right with the world. NDSU is national champions again. And in particular, Mandan's own Jackson Dutenheffer is part of the NDSU football team, so congratulations. Jordan?
Good evening, Mayor Freilich and Commissioners. I stand before you this evening for a recognition that we have as part of the Community Beautification Recognition Program. The committee likes to nominate and vote on and look at different community aspects, and I think this is one of those that is very important and is unique to Mandan, and the fact that we really look for these type of things. There's different aspects: landscape, aesthetics, and then obviously seasonal and holiday displays, and that's what I'm here for tonight's recognition. I just want to have recognize Cole and Amy Berger for their property at 2824 Massara Place here in Mandan. We have a couple of pictures. They have a holiday light display that was nominated and brought forward to the committee. And as you can see, we have just about any type of Christmas and different holiday light in there. So we'll leave Amy because we know here at work that she didn't really have a whole lot to do with it. But Cole, if you could come forward and come up here, we just want to just give them this certificate of achievement from the Community Beautification Committee on the. I don't even know what to say. There's just so much going on here, but I don't know how many square feet are left. I was going to do a calculation before the meeting, but find out how many square feet of were left on just the front corner of your property, but it's not a whole lot. But anyway, well done from the committee. Thank you for showing your holiday spirit, decorating your house. And for those that didn't see it, it was on the City of Mandan. We had our lights tour little code. It was also on there, and hopefully again next year we can more next year. So if you're looking,
neighbors outlets next year.
we'll take whatever. But we really appreciate as a committee the work that you've put into this, showing off your place, and and it was nominated, voted on by the committee unanimously to be part of the recognition program. So thank you, Cole, for all your work and your property. So
thank you.
On behalf of the committee, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Should we do a picture? We want to do a picture too, Cole. Yeah, get up there.
Congratulations, Cole and Amy. Jordan, could you just go over this program again for the Christmas lights?
Yeah, so the Beautification Committee recognition program has different criteria for properties, not only residential but commercial as well. Within the City of Mandan, they need to meet one of the following. It would be a landscape maintenance enhancement, a structural maintenance or enhancement, an overall aesthetic improvement. I know in the past we've had, you've seen some different window displays that have even been art perhaps, or things like that, but things that spruce up the community. We really lean on some of our members and people of the community to nominate them, and the form is obviously on the website, but we really like to showcase a lot of these pieces because they truly represent what the citizens of Mandan are about.
So in this seasonal aspect, we are encouraging people to put out their Christmas lights, decorate their houses and their businesses.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And be submitted so we can bring them here and do that. But yes, absolutely we are. So as a testament to our downtown as well.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Mayor, I want to commend the Burgers for putting the nice nativity scene right out in front, which is, to me, the representation of Christmas. So I noticed that, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes, again, congratulations. Moving on to item D, approval of the agenda. You have the agenda in front of you. Look for a motion to approve the agenda.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Braun, a second by Commissioner Heinchan. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Roll call.
Commissioners Heinchan,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Rohr,
Yes.
Schoberg,
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes. Consider the approval of the minutes from the December 17th, 2024 board meeting.
I move to approve the minutes.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Braun, second by Commissioner Schoberg. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Commissioners Braun,
Yes.
Rohr,
Yes.
Schoberg,
Yes.
Heinchan,
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes. Agenda item F, public hearing. Consider a request for a special use permit for Discovery Kids Child Care Center for Lot 5, Block 1, Eastwood Acres, 4th Edition. Andrew.
Good evening, Mayor Freilich and Commissioners. This is a request from Stephen and Ashley Featherston. Discovery Properties LLC is requesting the special use permit to open Discovery Kids Childcare in this location. The Featherstons are pursuing the purchase of the building to open the childcare facility within it. Just give me one moment while I pull up the agenda packet here with the details to present. As I do that, I'll try and get through a little bit more details here. The property that they're looking at was previously Dakota Supply Company. This is in East Mandan, west of the fast food restaurant on East Main Street. The building that they're looking at would have sprinklers installed, an exterior play area added onto it, and be licensed for up to 249 childcare spaces. The applicant believes that the actual number will fall between 150 and 200 childcare spaces as the shell space is measured, and then once it's furnished and divided and parted off further, the number of licensed childcare spaces goes down with that as the measurement is a furnished final measurement. So here's the location for those unfamiliar with it. Again, we're in East Mandan. Zoning is CA commercial, and the future land use for this property is commercial. I do have an image of it as well. This is the property viewed from the east, the southwest, the south, and then an overview showing the subject property. Daycares are regulated by the City Code of Ordinances, and the evaluative criteria are outlined inside of that. We have a requirement for the use to comply with the city's plan and be consistent with the city's zoning regulations. We have operational restrictions in the ordinance and are proposing a cap of 15 children outside between 9:30 and 7 p.m. and no use of the exterior play area outside of that time. We do check for impacts to adjacent properties. It appears that the use will meet all applicable regulatory restrictions and not result in any loss of scenic or historic features to Mandan. We do feel that adequate buffers are in place to the uses around there with this site, and that it's accessible and includes adequate provisions for that. We do also have further standards for them. They will be in the process of state permit approval, and that needs to be provided to the city for our permit to be issued. 35 square feet of interior play area per child is required and is met. 75 feet of exterior play space is met. There will be no adult care provided here, so that portion of our ordinance is just skipped over. Minimum parking is able to be met by the property, and drop-off and pickup space will be separate from minimum parking. There is a site plan that's being prepared that will have a little bit more detail, such as where the proposed staff parking and parking striping, drop-off spaces, some of the site access controls, which I'll get into. We did present this to the Planning and Zoning Commission at their December 18th meeting. They did ultimately choose to approve with a few conditions that were listed and provided to staff. That includes the submission of a copy of the state child care license with the final head count, establishment of a potential shared use agreement with Send It Cornhole to the north, received fire, water, and fire sprinklers using a private irrigation line, and they may tap into that for this building as well. A later item on tonight's agenda is a fire sprinkler incentive. So if they do share that line, we would require shared use for that piece of infrastructure. We are requesting modifications to the site's access. In talking with the engineering department, this isn't an ideal part of Mandan, and we probably wouldn't rebuild it this way if we could build it different. Probably provide a little bit more space between the intersections if we could. However, this is an existing building, and we do want to work with the property owners to see if this use will work in that location, given the immense need for childcare in Mandan. So the idea is to try and consolidate the access to the site to a singular location. If I can have the screen. Right now, there is no control, and a person could drive into the site pretty much anywhere on their south property line here. One of the things that the property owner can help with, and that's in their control on their property, would be to limit access to the property to a specific location, ideally as far west as it can be, so that vehicles enter and exit the site and approach East Main as controlled as possible. Versus today, there's essentially kind of a free-for-all lateral access to the site from the intersection of East Main and Twin City Drive. So the idea being that vehicle entering the site would stay on Main Street as long as they can for as orderly stacking as we can get to this site. So that would be what's meant for the condition of modifying the site's access. The installation of an opaque fence along the western boundary of the exterior play area is required to provide some additional screening to the properties to the west. Again, we've discussed the number of children outside and the preservation of access to the Send It Cornhole property. The plat requires this lot to provide access to the rear parcel. So thank you for letting me get through some of those conditions. The staff is recommending approval, and the Planning and Zoning Commission is recommending approval of the special use permit with the conditions that I outlined. This is a public hearing. I can take any questions if you have them. Thank you.
Any questions for Andrew? Hearing none, we're going to open up the public hearing. Anyone has comments? If none, second call for comments. If none, third and final call. Hearing none, the public hearing is closed. Commissioners?
Mayor and Commissioners, Andrew, thank you for you and your committee for obviously ensuring that the requirements that we have for the city is met in terms of allowing the daycare. Daycares are very important. That's one of the things that are asked for quite often within the communities, Mandan, Bismarck, all over. They're very important. And the people that work there, they don't just hold the children, as you will, as an area just for them pastime before they're picked up. That's an area where the people that are involved in the daycare do a lot more. They build, they mentor, they teach, they help the children grow to be important within their community and important to themselves. So I think this is important.
Andrew, the owners of the Discovery business also own that building, is that correct?
Mayor Freilich, Commissioner Schoberg, the applicants are in the process of purchasing the building, and at the time of final permitting and licensure, they will be the owners of the building.
And at this time, the building is vacant.
Mayor Freilich, Commissioner Schoberg, it is largely vacant. They have a tenant in there, a professional services tenant that will be vacating it upon the property transfer.
Thank you. Thank you.
I move to recommend approval of the special use permit for Discovery Kids Child Care Center for Lot 5, Block 1, Eastwood Acres, 4th Edition, with the conditions provided in the staff report.
I'll second that.
We have a motion by Commissioner Braun, a second by Commissioner Schoberg. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Commissioners Braun,
Yes.
Rohr,
Yes.
Schoberg,
Yes.
Heinchan,
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes. Item number G, bids. Consider bids for Memorial Highway East Half Project. Jarek?
Mayor, Commissioners, good evening. On December 20th, the North Dakota Department of Transportation opened bids for the Memorial Highway project, the east half of the Memorial Highway project. We received 4 bids ranging from about $38 million to $40 million. Our engineer's estimate going into the bid was $36.2 million. So the bids ranged from about 5% over estimate to about 10% over estimate. The low bid came from Reedy Construction out of Aberdeen, South Dakota. They are a concrete contractor. They do a lot of work for the South Dakota Department of Transportation, and they also did Bismarck's downtown reconstruction project 2 years ago. So we're confident that they're capable of taking the project. The city's exposure to the bid is estimated to be about $10.9 million. This would be for the city's contributions towards the street and storm sewer, as well as 100% or 100% of the sanitary work that's going to be done on the project, as well as 40% of the water, drinking water work that's going to be done on the project. This is for our purposes at this point, it's about 5% over as well, pretty much in line with the overall project, the differences between the estimate and the bid prices. We're still working with our consultants to use these new unit prices to refine estimates for the west half of the project, and we're going to have more and better information in the coming months. We would recommend concurring in the award to Reedy Construction, and I can try and answer any questions, or we have consultants from HDR and AE2S here to answer any other questions that I might not be able to.
Any questions for Jarek? If none,
I move to approve the concurrence award to Reed Construction as presented.
Second.
we have a motion by Commissioner Rohr, a second by Commissioner Heinchan. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Commissioners Schoberg,
Yes.
Heinchan,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Rohr,
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes. Item number H under the consent agenda. Are there any items you would like removed?
Mayor, fellow commissioners, I would like H1 to be removed from the consent agenda.
Any other items? Hearing none, can I get a motion to pass items 2 through 12?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Braun, a second by Commissioner Heinchan. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioners Heinchan,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Rohr,
Yes.
Schoberg,
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes. Item 1 is consider State Water Commission funding for Memorial Highway. Jarek?
Mayor, Commissioners, this is an amendment to our cost share agreement with the State Water Commission, And the purpose of this amendment is to include state participation in the drinking water portions of the Memorial Highway project. If there's any questions or anything that I can answer specifically, I'd be happy to do so.
What's that amount, Jarek?
It was $348,000, and it's increased to $2.9 million with this amendment.
So would that difference then,
About $2.6 million higher.
thank you.
Yep.
City Administrator Newbauer, would you please take the stand? Oh, I'm sorry, podium.
Mayor Freilich and Commissioner Schoberg, yes.
We had a rather lengthy planning and zoning meeting this afternoon, and I think it's high time that the work that's done within these hallowed halls, City of Mandan, meets its rightful recognition. I asked Jarek and Andrew and Riley if they had any part in this cost savings to the citizens of the City of Mandan. And they admirably said they did not. Andrew said that he might have had part in one of the last meetings for just a brief moment or two. And I commend them for their honesty. So I said, how far back did this go? And they said, well, probably at least a decade or so. It does take time to take care of financial awards in this amount. I'm sure that Greg can echo that observation from the financial standpoint. Since I'm new here, and Jarek and Andrew were new here, we couldn't pinpoint the names of those that were really involved as far as department heads or elected officials. I will say that one name continued to pop up. And Jim, that's yours. This is a huge savings to the citizens of Mandan. On one hand, it could be said that the Memorial Highway project was initiated by the State Highway Department. Therefore, it is incumbent upon a state organization to assist with cost sharing. On the other hand, since some of us here have only been in office since July 1st of last year, it's been my personal observations that you are the common denominator. And it is your integrity, your honor, your honesty, your street respect, your willingness to work with people of all backgrounds. You, sir, are the reason that this $2.6 million savings can be passed along to the citizens of Mandan. You and you alone from this point. And for that, I most humbly and modestly thank you. You need the recognition. Too often, you are the brunt of ugly coffee clutch jokes and rumors and disrespect. That stops, that ends right now with this commission tonight. It will no longer be tolerable to anybody that works within these halls beneath this roof. We need to look to Jim Newbar as an example of leading by example. Thank you for setting a stellar example for the rest of us that work here and trying to do our best to keep this community thriving and growing into the future. Sorry to put you on the spot, but I couldn't let this moment pass. So thank you very much, sir.
Mayor Freilich and Commissioner Schoberg, those comments are certainly appreciated. I will say that it is a team effort from our consulting engineers to the North Dakota Department of Water Resources, formerly State Water Commission, to our finance department, to folks in our engineering department. it's a group of people that continuously look to find ways to lower the cost to our residents on projects like this. We've been working with also the North Dakota Department of Transportation we can go back probably 20 to 25 years on Memorial Highway, so this is a pretty big step in moving forward. But again, the funding resources that come available on this project and all others, it is a team effort. It is not a one-man show, and we work very well and we work very hard to lower those costs to our residents and also produce a very good product. So appreciate those words, but again, it is a group effort, and our thanks also go to the Commission for allowing us to explore all kinds of different funding opportunities to lower, again, try and do the most efficient job we can, and also to keep the costs as reasonable as we can for our residents.
Thank you. That was exactly the response that I had pictured. Thank you very much. And with that, I move to approve Amendment 1 as presented.
Second.
We have a motion to approve consent agenda item 1 by Commissioner Schoberg, a second by Commissioner Brown. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Commissioners Braun,
Yes.
Rohr,
Yes.
Schoberg,
Yes.
Heinchan,
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes. We have no old business. On to new business. Agenda item J. Consider preliminary engineering reimbursement agreement for the I-94 chip seal project. Jarek?
Mayor, Commissioners, this is a project that kind of was conceived of and put into motion fairly quickly. The Department of Transportation had some extra federal funds that they needed to obligate to a project in 2024. They reached out to us to see what we thought about a preventative maintenance project going through our community. This would be a chip seal of I-94. I believe it would take place from the western edge of Mandan to the eastern edge of Bismarck, but the piece that the city has a stake in is Highway 810, and this is what I think most people would consider to be I-94 between the Memorial Bridge and the Expressway Bridge, that segment. Most of the interstate system is funded by the state and the federal government at 100%. That particular segment of road is not considered interstate, and the city has a 10% cost participation in that segment. So the district office reached out to us and asked us to what our thoughts were on getting this work done. And I reached out to finance department, and they told me that they thought that this could be paid out of sales tax, and so that's why I have it out here for you today to consider. The total participation that the city would have in this project is about $35,000. And as a preventative maintenance project, this is a very good way to spend money. So it's our recommendation to enter into this agreement as presented. And this agreement is essentially just stating that we support the project and we understand our cost participation responsibilities in the project. And if for some reason we withdrew support of the project, we would reimburse the state for any engineering costs that they incurred between those two dates, which would far exceed $35,000, I would imagine. So if you have any other questions specifically, I can answer them. Otherwise,
You don't have a map.
I didn't have it pulled up.
So Memorial Highway.
Let me pull it up here. Right here, if you can pull it up. The segment of I-94 between Expressway and Memorial Bridges. So it'd be this segment right here. It is not technically.
You said I-94, but it's not I-94.
It's not. It's labeled I-94 on Google Maps, and yeah, I probably talk about it as being I-94 in conversation, but it is Highway 810.
So what do we have there, a mile?
That's a good question. About 3/4 of a mile, give or take.
So chip seal both lanes,
Chip
both
seal,
directions.
travel lanes,
Yep.
off ramps, on ramps, crossovers, everything.
So 3/4 of a mile for $35,000.
Yep.
Okay.
And Jarek, the timing of this project in reference to the Memorial Highway East?
Based on how quickly the project got put together and was being acted on, I would expect it to be constructed this summer.
So there's not going to be any problem with the east end of the Memorial Highway and this project going on at the same time? Or have you guys looked at it yet? Or are you going to look at it?
Mayor, Commissioners, I would not expect it to be an issue. Chip seal projects are very
Quick.
quick. They're not very invasive. They're not very disruptive. So I would expect it to go fairly smoothly.
Jarek, do you remember the last time that was redone from a mill and overlay, or what? When it was the last time it had any attention to it?
I don't know off the top of my head. I would be able to find that information out for you. Routine maintenance like this is probably a 6 to 7 year cycle, so it may be fair to say that time frame. But I will look into that for you.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Jarek? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion.
I moved to enter into agreement and authorize the use of 1% sales tax funds to pay for the city's share of the project.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Schoberg, a second by Commissioner Rohr. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Commissioners Braun,
Yes.
Rohr,
Yes.
Schoberg,
Yes.
Heinchan,
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes. Item number 2 under new business, consider a growth fund committee recommendation for fire sprinkler assistance for 1702 East Main Street. Madison?
Yes, Mayor and Commissioners, so City Planner Strami kind of stole my thunder, but we will be talking about the same property as he just discussed that was approved for the special use permit at 1702. The Mandan Growth Fund discussed this topic held on December 11, 2024. Discovery Properties LLC will be closing the sale of the building at 1702 East Main Street this coming spring of 2025 with plans to convert it into a child care center. Discovery Properties LLC will operate as the property management company with Discovery Kids as the child care center of a capacity of up to 200 children. In order for the facility to meet all regulatory compliance standards required for children operations, the installation of a fire sprinkler system is necessary. The estimated cost for installing the system is a little over $59,000. In addition to the sprinkler system, Nova Fire Protection will install a fire smoke monitoring system with pull stations and a central panel. The applicant is seeking $10,000 in matching funds for the sprinkler system and will exceed the 50% match requirement. And as Commissioner Braun also pointed out a little bit ago, that this will alleviate that shortage of childcare in Mandan that everyone seems to be looking for. And with a location, it can also be accommodating for both Mandan and Bismarck too. So the Mandan Growth Fund voted 7-0 with 2 members absent to recommend providing 50% matching funds not to exceed $10,000 to be structured as a forgivable loan for the installation of a fire sprinkler system at 1702 East Main Street. If you have any questions, let me know.
Any questions for Madison? Okay.
I move to approve the 50% matching funds not to exceed the $10,000 to be structured as a forgivable loan for the installation of fire sprinkler system at 1702 East Main Street.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Heinchan, a second by Commissioner Schoberg. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioners Schoberg,
Yes.
Heinchan,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Rohr,
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes. Item number 3, consider re-executing purchase agreement for city-owned lot 606 Collins Avenue. Andrew?
Mayor Freilich and Commissioners, well over a year ago now, we approached the Commission with a request from Chelsea and Justin Morrow to purchase a property from the city of Mandan. I do have a location map on my screen. Here, this is a property on the east side of Collins Avenue. As you head north or head up the hill, it would be on your right. It came back in back taxes and is presently kind of partially occupied by a adjoining property. So in May of 2023, we did present an offer for $250 to the city to purchase this property with the condition that the buyer hire a surveyor and have it combined with their property so it doesn't fall off again in the future. Given the time lapse since the original approval and it needing to come back as a minor plat with the new mayor and new commission, it felt right to reintroduce this so that it could be re-executed and we could take care of this. It's our recommendation that we re-execute the purchase agreement and sell this lot to the Morrows for $250 with the conditions listed in the purchase agreement. Essentially that they have a surveyor prepare a plat, apply for it, have it approved, recorded, and get this taken care of. Do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, do you have a Google Earth image?
I have something better, Mayor Freilich.
Street level?
This is the lot that we are looking at here on the screen. So the courthouse would have been across the street to the west, and the blue lot is what we own as the city that they would be buying. And we have an alley that runs east and then jogs to the south, immediately north of it.
Okay, thank you, Andrew. Any questions for Andrew?
Andrew, when we put out bids, assuming this doesn't happen all that often, but when I hear like $250 is low bid, I think, well, that's pretty small. Like, do we ever set any type of thresholds for those sorts of things?
Mayor Freilich, Commissioner Heinchan, we do have a minimum that we need. We've historically benefited from the assistance of a listing agent. Darren Schmidt's been able to get these into the MLS and listed in accordance with basic city ordinance requirements. We do view this as a fairly advantageous process, and we don't want this to go to a highest bidder situation. Given in almost any situation, a lot that comes back to the city has some peculiarities to it. So in this case, we consider a multitude of factors when determining the appropriate purchaser. Unfortunately, it is the adjoining property owner, and money is kind of a minor issue compared to it just being put back into private property ownership. I did include this in the staff report, I believe, but we also consider the cost of applying for a minor plat, hiring a surveyor, carries some cost, of course, and we want to be considerate of that when trying to offload these. So we don't get a lot of money for them often, but when we do get to sell them in a situation like this, it makes sense to take the opportunity to. So are there any other questions I can take on this one? Thank you.
Mayor Andrew, I just noticed over the years when these things pop up, I know right on 14th Avenue where the bank was falling in, those lots don't have any value in terms of real estate or other things. So the city's kind of saddled with these things, and we have to do the best we can to get what value we can in them. And quite often that's not what we consider the value of real estate quite often, but it's what we have to settle for sometimes due to the, like you mentioned, the whether it be the train or non-billable or whatever other problems result from these lots.
Commissioner, I agree. Thank you.
Commissioners?
I'll move to approve the sale of 606 Collins Avenue contingent upon the conditions of the purchase agreement.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Schoberg, a second by Commissioner Rohr. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Commissioners Heinchan.
Yes.
Braun.
Yes.
Rohr.
Yes.
Schoberg.
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes. Agenda item K, resolutions and ordinances. Item number 1, consider a resolution authorizing a loan application for the 2025 reconstruction project of Monty Drive. Jarek?
Mayor Commissioners, this is a necessary step in our financing of the 2025 reconstruction project. SRF requires a resolution by the board authorizing providing information related to the project and providing answering questions and documentation. This resolution would authorize Administrator Neubauer and Finance Director Welch to provide information necessary for loan applications. The SRF loan program is a 2% interest rate program, and we are expecting the entirety of the Monty Drive reconstruction project to be able to be funded through this 2% loan program, and that's going to translate into a lot of reduced costs for the residents in that area. So if there's any specific questions I can answer, I'd be happy to do so.
Just to refresh anybody watching, can you bring up the Monty Drive project boundaries?
Absolutely. So I do have it pulled up on the screen. I can try and do my best to describe it here. Lewis and Clark Elementary is right here. The Monty Drive project is the sort of triangle that's defined by 6th Avenue Northwest, Boundary Street, and Sunset Drive. The only work along Sunset Drive would take place in this far northwest corner. Most of the Sunset Drive will remain untouched for this project. So primarily within those bounds.
And when you say reconstruction, what does that entail?
Reconstruction would be water main reconstruction primarily, though we would be doing some sanitary sewer improvements in the area, as well as reconstructing the surface of the road in a way that doesn't result in a lot of differential settlement and scarring that you can see at some other areas around town.
So we're not doing the whole road, we're doing the pathway of the water lines.
That is the reconstruction portion, but we are doing full width rehabilitation to the surface of the road in support of the water main reconstruction.
Sidewalks involved?
Not sidewalks, but ADA ramps, and that is related to the full depth mill and overlay.
Mayor Jerick, a lot of this has to do with the proficiency of fire prevention, fire suppression out there, making sure that ample water is available for fires that may not be there right now.
Mayor, Commissioners, that's correct. Yeah, we do have water pressure throttled in this area currently to try and prevent some of those accelerating water main breaks that occur and have occurred during fire events. This project would include the establishment of a new pressure zone, and that would allow the city to increase water pressure not only to this area, but some other areas around town as well.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Jarek, how many breaks have been in that neighborhood in the last 15 years?
15 years. I think it was 27. I think I'd presented the number 26, and then there was another one the next day. So.
It's my yard again.
Yeah.
Jarek, you shared a photo of a cast iron water main pipe with me today.
Yep.
Is that handy?
I don't have that handy with me right now. I'm sorry.
Okay, no, that's fine. Sorry for the last moment here, but that was frightening. Then I can't think of another word for that except frightening.
Yeah, sometimes it is. Yeah, you wonder how it stayed together that long. So.
And we have relatively close proximity of I-94, motor vehicle accidents that might happen on the on and off ramps there that would require significant amounts of water. From that area, we've got a Lewis and Clark Elementary School. This has to be done.
Mayor Commissioner, yeah, I
No options.
completely
And to
agree.
get a 2% loan rate on this is outstanding and absolutely imperative.
I would agree.
Jared, I want to go back to my sidewalk.
Okay.
So there's no sidewalks involved in this, but when the line broke, they dig into the sidewalk.
Correct.
So how do you avoid not tearing out the sidewalks and replacing water lines?
There would probably be some sidewalk work associated with reconnecting service lines to the new main, but the main would be relocated into the roadway, 8 feet, I think, into the roadway off of the curb. And we would abandon the cast iron water main in place. So the amount of disruption to sidewalks would be limited to where we need to do service line work.
Okay.
It would be replaced in those situations. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
I move to approve the resolution authorizing loan application as presented.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Heinchan, a second by Commissioner Rohr. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Commissioners Braun,
Yes.
Rohr,
Yes.
Schoberg,
Yes.
Heinchan,
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes.
Thank you.
Item number 2, consider a resolution establishing rates and charges for water meters. Mr. O'Keefe.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. Today I'm presenting a resolution regarding the water meter rates. As part of our annual process, staff conducts an evaluation of the cost to purchase water meters and works closely with the Finance Department to establish the price charged to the citizens purchasing meters for new construction. It is important to note that these rates are subject to change based on market conditions and supply chain fluctuations, so the final price will be confirmed at the time of purchase. We ask for your approval of the resolution to ensure a fair and transparent rate structure for our community. I recommend to approve the resolution establishing rates and charges for water meters for new construction from the Utility Maintenance Department. Thank you.
Any questions for Shane? Hearing none.
I move to approve the resolutions establishing rates and charges for water meters for the new construction, from the Utility Maintenance Department.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Heinchan, a second by Commissioner Braun. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Commissioners Braun,
Yes.
Rohr,
Yes.
Schoberg,
Yes.
Heinchan,
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes. Item number 3, second consideration of ordinance 1459 for Cove at Lakewood planned unit development. Andrew?
Mayor Freilich and Commissioners, Ordinance 1459 was presented for its first consideration at the City Commission meeting on December 17th. There have been no changes made to it since that meeting. We have not received any comments related to it since that meeting. Again, Ordinance 1459 pertains to the development of Cove at Lakewood and Southeast Mandan. It's the recommendation in the packet for it to be approved. Do you have any questions for me this evening?
Any questions for Andrew? Hearing none, what are your wishes?
I move to approve second consideration of ordinance 1459.
Second.
We have motion by Commissioner Schoberg, a second by Commissioner Braun. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Commissioners Schoberg,
Yes.
Heinchan,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Rohr,
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes. Motion passes. Any other business before the commission tonight? Seeing none, future meeting dates for the Board of City Commissioners, January 14th, 2025 at 5:30. Special meeting, working session, long-range financial planning. January 21st, 2025 at 5 p.m. commission meeting, I do believe, Mr. Neubauer. January 28th, 2025 at 5:30, special meeting, working session, long-range financial planning. February 4th, 2025 at 5:30, commission meeting. February 11th, 2025 at 5:30, special meeting, working session, long-range financial planning. And February 18th, 2025 at 5 p.m. So January 21st is at 5 p.m. February 18th is at 5 p.m. And with that, we are adjourned. Thank you very much.